Hey, it's Adam here, and you're watching The Culture Hack, where we're talking about how to create engaged workspaces that unlock the potential of your teams and drive your business forward in ways you've never seen. So stay tuned. Vered Levant, welcome to The Culture Hack. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
I'm super excited. You are, of course, the founder of VIMY HR, which is doing so many cool things in town here. Tell me a little bit about VIMY.
So, VIMY was founded accidentally, actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
was probably, I think fractional everything is all the rage right now, but I didn't even know that that's what I was creating at the time, 8 years ago. So what we do is actually we step in for small organizations that are scaling rapidly, need some support, have been kind of managing HR off the side of their desk, albeit not very well. And we come in and we become an extension of their team. So really get integrated into their culture, get an understanding of who they are, provide our strategic talent management support, and elevate leadership capabilities so that they're in a really great spot to minimize chaos as they continue to grow.
I love it. I love the minimize chaos thing because you guys come along and you plug in, and as you say, you get to know their culture a little bit. And, I want to talk a little bit about the engagement for a second. I mean, it's become a bit of a buzzword, but when you plug into a company, I'm sure there's some where you're like, oh my God, they're so great. And others where you're like, oh wow, there's some work to be done. So what does
Yes.
engaged look like to you?
Yeah. So it's an interesting process because I think, these founders are coming to us where
Mhm.
they've created something. They're asking for help. They're coming at this at a place of vulnerability. So we really have to approach it with this gratitude of, oh wow, like you've actually really trusted us with a lot of information and a lot of vulnerability and asked for help. So that's sort of the starting point, is trying to develop that trust of, we've got your back. We are invested in your success. We know what we're doing because we have done this several times over. And so really that engagement starts in really developing that trust. We get to know their leadership team. We get to understand their organization, what's the current state, where are they at, from anything from policies and procedures to how do they manage communication and feedback in their organization, and then where do they want to take the organization? What's that future state? What's that vision? Why is that founder putting in the sleepless nights? What does he or she actually want to create as the North Star? And we're trying to build a plan for that delta between the current state and future state.
I love that. Are there any particular stories that come to mind over the years? I mean, you guys, like you said, you've done it so many times. You've become really, really good at this. Are there any particular stories that you're really proud of that you'd want to share?
Oh, so many, I think. I probably even my first engagement where I didn't have a lot of understanding of how to even do this, but made it up along the way, and it obviously worked out really well. But they had 100 employees, 3 locations. They really did not have any sort of HR structure. I think the things that they had created, like they were a 25-year-old company, and they hadn't looked at their employee handbook in 15 years. They didn't have an HR information system, so they were tracking all of their employees on spreadsheets. Their leadership team didn't really know how to manage employees. They were really just kind of managing the day to day, but not having the ability to like grow people, grow further leaders. So we really transformed that organization to not only like build those foundational elements around policies that are connected to who they are, their value system, streamlining some of the operations. So building a recruitment process, rolling out an information system so that they could manage all the employee data, putting in self-serve, um, and moving into sort of those engagement mechanisms, making sure that they were compensating people appropriately, but also to be able to build to the future, um, building better communication protocols, feedback loops, performance management tools. we did the whole gamut. And really, at this point, we've actually created an HR manager within their organization over the last couple of years. And so really, they just leverage us for those really sticky situations where they need that level of expertise. So
That's amazing.
yeah, so that's a win. But I think all of this comes with learning along the way, and we've refined how we do business, and we have like a pretty solid framework that we work under because of those experiences of seeing what works and what doesn't. And you have to meet leaders where they're at as well. Like a lot of this is around managing behavioral change, and that takes time. And everyone manages that very differently. So the other side of this is like the human side of supporting our clients through these engagements, because we're supporting a change in behavior and they need to be ready for that change.
Well, and when we talk about culture and we talk about change, there's the emotional piece, and then there's the technical piece, and then there's of course the reinforcing and keep pushing and all that. And everyone, in my experience, is so good at the technical piece. We always create the PowerPoint slides, and we're all ready. We're going to do these 2 lunch and learns, and it'll all be great. But we kind of skip the emotional piece, which is like, how do you guys feel about this? Like, I know leadership has talked a bit about like, you've been working here for 20 years. Like, how do you feel about having something like this now? What are you worried about? Like, I feel as though there's such an opportunity to provide just a like a voice for the people that are having this done to them. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely. Like we have our own lens on things, and there's always something that there's a potential to miss because
Hmm.
we don't have that perspective. So we always have to ask questions and be curious around, we want to implement this change. Let's get your feedback. What have we missed? We're never going to do it perfectly. There's always something that we're going to miss. But I think there's more grace in those skip ups if we actually do ask
Hmm.
for that feedback and we engage um, the right stakeholders in that change.
So as we look to the future, we've got new AI tools coming in that you can talk about culture and we'll look at your communications and like, there's a even more rapid change happening to companies, whether they like it or not. The external environment is shifting so quickly. What do you see with your clients? How are they responding to this?
Oh, that's a tricky question. I don't know actually how they're responding to it because I think every organization is different depending on their industry. Um, I think there's an opportunity there because I think we can celebrate what exists and we can become way more efficient with our time to focus on the things that matter, um, which is really just like how do we better collaborate? How do we better communicate? Because that's really what drives the right change. There is that human element that cannot be replaced by AI, but you can use AI to help with that process and really like streamline and be a catalyst of change.
I like that, right? You can like maybe accelerate or
Hmm.
do some neat things. But I agree with you. I think ultimately humans just want to connect,
Yes.
and building systems around that is really just providing more opportunities to connect towards a common goal, right?
Yeah, and I think the hesitation in using AI tools is actually because from what I've seen, and actually someone that I'm connected to from a professional basis, he always says like technology doesn't solve problems, it's an amplifier, right? I
Mm,
think you put a lens on when you use these tools sometimes to really see where the problems are in your organization. And maybe
yeah,
that's the scary part.
I love that, right? It will amplify like the great part. It will also amplify chaos. If you,
Yes,
that's what you have,
100%.
right? Amazing. Well, thanks you so much, Vered, for coming on the show. I really appreciate your insights. I hope that people listening find some gems in your wisdom. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for watching The Culture Hack. Do you want to chat culture and engagement? Give us a call and come on the show.